Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we love to donate sperm.
What the fuck is up with this guy, Amy? First of all, when you just told me
First of all,
you told me there was somebody addicted to sperm donation. I was like,
Mhm,
oh, okay.
Okay.
This guy is fucking people.
Whoa, the plot twist I didn't see
did not
coming.
expect
I'm like,
that.
wait a minute. What does he call it? He calls it something.
Natural
The natural insemination.
nation. And he goes into detail about how he holds the woman on the floor and holds her upside down when he's finished.
Yeah.
Amy, I thought
Yeah.
we were just turkey bastoring this shit.
No.
Actually, I didn't
thought
even
they were
think
doing
that.
it through like a clinic.
I thought he went to I had
No.
a friend in
No.
college who funded some of his college time.
Sure.
Many a man do this. It's fine. I can tell you with 100% certainty, there was no addiction to this.
No.
Once he and his girlfriend were no longer separated, we stopped with that business.
Well, the minute he pulled out the map,
Oh God,
I was like, "Oh, this is the kink.
this is the king.
This is
Has
it."
children all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That said, we're moving to Malta.
Guys, my name's Amy Archer. I am the host of Little Miss Recap. I'm here with the wind beneath my wings.
Wow. Okay.
Amanda Lipnack-Radell, my project manager. You have a piece in my heart every day.
Project manager, life coach,
Everything.
fellow
You're just
woman in the
everything.
trenches.
Yes, you're just
Of life.
everything. I call you, you're there. You call me, I'm there.
All the time.
We're rocking this thing.
We're being each other's emotional support person through life. It's basically what's happening right now.
Pretty much.
Guys, you have no idea how many texts begin with, can I complain about something?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
can.
Yes.
You can.
Guys, we're talking love during
Love
love
in paradise.
in paradise.
Back in the
Okay.
day, Love in Paradise, Love in Paradise,
Mhm.
Caribbean, A
Mhm.
90-Day Story was like the original title of this, and it has morphed over time.
Okay, that was my question. I could have sworn this had, because Kim from Cray Cray called it Caribbean Love.
Caribbean Love. I
Okay.
think it was like Love in Paradise, Caribbean Love,
Okay.
some other piece of punctuation, A 90-Day Story.
I want to talk about Malta for a second.
Okay, let's go. When are we going?
I will never forget As the World Turns.
Oh, okay. There's an As the World Turns piece. Okay.
Lily Snyder and
Mm.
Lily and Holden,
Sure.
right?
No, but okay.
They were off and on again. They were like
Okay.
supposedly the love story, but I never liked it because I never loved Holden.
Okay.
He was too good.
I enjoy the name Holden, though.
Yeah, he was too good.
Okay.
He was, of course. He had like a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
probably
then
wasn't
comes,
dirty either.
Then comes Damien Grimaldi. And hashtag I will never forget. And he was from Malta. And he comes in and he sweeps Lily off her feet. Did he gaslight her and do some terrible things later? Sure.
Of course.
But let's just
It's a soap
overlook
opera.
that. And let's remember when he was from Malta and he
Okay.
took her to Malta. And little Amy Archer was like, I love Malta. I fell in love with it at that point.
What kind of accent did he have? Because I don't know what language they speak in Malta.
I have no idea.
We're going to look that up now. You tell me about his accent.
Okay. I have no idea. I don't remember. I just remember it being a real toxic love affair
Okay.
and me thinking it was normal and healthy.
Sure. Okay. There are 3 official languages in Malta.
Okay.
Maltese,
Mhm.
which makes me want to say Falcon because those go together.
Yes.
English and Maltese Sign Language.
I have to think it's close to Italian, right?
I would think it is because it's real close.
It has to be a love language.
Yeah, romance
Or
language.
not love language, I'm sorry.
Romance language. A love language.
Wow.
So there are 6 love languages now. Gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service. There's something else I always forget, and Malta.
Oh, that's okay. Did you listen to, you probably didn't listen to it yet, just dropped, our Married at First Sight episode where I was talking about This Is Us, the video game?
Yes, I did hear that, and I thought that was great. I was sitting there in my bathroom brushing my teeth, listening to you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it's not This Is Us. Not This Is Us. It's Last of Us."
Yep.
Oh, can we imagine the big 3 get infected with the thing, and they then have like the mushroom head?
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, guys, I don't get words right.
It's okay.
I don't know what
It's
to
okay.
say.
It's also early.
So-
We're good.
This is the free episode for everyone to get a taste of what we're going to be doing over on wherever we go. Little Miss
Buckle
Recap Extra, which is Patreon, Supercast, and Apple subscriptions. Also, we're doing Love During Lockup over there. And I watched the first episode and it's bonkers.
Can't wait.
Yes,
Cannot wait.
there's a girl from Wilkes-Barre,
Right?
which is literally in my backyard.
Cannot wait. Super
I'm like,
psyched.
okay. All right. So are we ready to talk about these fools?
Let's talk about these fools. This is going to be a season of this. I'm glad that we've
I'm
moved
so
out of the
excited.
Caribbean because now we do get to Malta. We do get to Brazil, which is not on the Caribbean, though they really stretched the Caribbean portion previously.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of these people.
I'm
They're
just happy
ridiculous.
we don't have E. Scott and Lydia.
Thank fucking God we have no E. Scott.
I mean,
Oh,
although I
thank God.
enjoyed Nicole reading E. Scott for Filth, I don't need to see Nicole and Lydia on my screen ever again.
Did you see E. Scott and Angela try to reenact the Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And if you guys, by the time you listen to this, you will have seen HEA. Ed is out-edding himself, as I told Mary Payne. I texted Mary Payne, I'm like, you need to read this guy for Filth because he is a trash person.
After I watch it, some recording, we will have an HEA corner.
Yeah, maybe next week on Seeking Sister Wife.
Okay, that will work.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with Madeleine and Luke.
Yes. Okay.
I love that name. Madeleine. It's beautiful.
I love both of those names, actually.
So they are, let me just remind everyone, Luke is 30 from LA and Madeleine is 19 from Colombia.
I'm only 19. She's very young.
She's very young.
Very young and is living a way fancier life than I have ever lived in my 51 years.
Yes. Yes. She has a life that I will never know.
No.
Let me just
I
put
will
that
never
one.
have an albino Pomeranian. I could say
No.
that with a lot of certainty.
No. So she lives in Medellin, Colombia. How do you say that? Medellin. Sorry. That's where Jennifer lived, right?
Jennifer lived in, yes, she lived there. No, she lived in
was a J in
Bucaramanga.
there? I thought it was an
There
L.
is no J. There is
Oh,
no
okay,
J, but that's
okay.
how it said. No, she lived in Bucaramanga because that's the same place that Pal was from. Cheese Stick and Melissa, they were in Medellin.
Oh, Medellin. Okay.
And I really want to go there. It looks gorgeous.
It's amazing.
I tried really hard to talk Todd into going to Colombia for our honeymoon versus me.
My sister was just there. She loved
supposed
it.
to be so gorgeous. Anyway, go on.
So she and Luke have been together for a year, and it started as a vacation bang, as you do.
As you do.
Okay.
No
he
shade.
was there for vacation. She says he's a very good man.
Is he?
He's empathetic.
Huh?
Okay. And he has a bunch of money.
Right.
And he spoils me, and I live like a queen.
Well, that last portion of the program is not going to last very long, my friend.
No. He pays for her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
She is an albino Pomeranian Angel. I wrote Angle, but it's Angel.
Change. I always spell those two wrong.
Yeah. Who Luke bought for her.
Of course.
And she loves fashion. And Luke buys all of her clothes and keeps her in the finest.
Now, I am no high fashion aficionado. Again, we discussed at length yesterday Athleta pants and Old Navy joggers.
Yes.
This is the world in which you and I live. We do not live in this world.
I can't turn down an Old Navy legging. I know.
But like it seemed like there were designer purses there, but I don't know if they're knockoffs or not. This is where we need Mary Payne because she's real good at being like, nope, that line is in the wrong place. It's a knockoff.
Yeah, and I don't know, even if they were designer purses, are they expensive? I don't know. I don't know. So she says she loves a crop top because her boobies look amazing. Luke has just paid for them to be done, and they look great. She has a giant unicorn in the corner of her apartment that she calls Luke, and she rubs up against it.
You know why she has a giant unicorn in her apartment?
Why is that?
Because she's 19 years old.
I'm shocked she doesn't have squashmallows around and going on boba tea dates. I don't know.
Me at 19 years old had posters on my wall, and I actually wrote out Corinthians 2 and wrote it on my wall.
No.
I colored it and everything.
Okay. We need a picture of that. Do you have a picture of that?
No, I don't have a picture of that. It was not in the day when you took pictures of things in that way.
You'll just have to reenact it.
Maybe I'll redraw it for everybody.
Put it above your bed now and see how Todd reacts.
See how long it takes. First, see how long it takes for him to notice, and
Mhm.
then see how he feels about oh my god, I'll because we do have a print above our bed, I'll just, like, tape it on there and see
There
if
you
he
go.
notices.
There you go. Or you can do like a Garrick Merrifield and just put your vision board up there of 5 women.
Of 5 asses, except it was
Mhm.
only 3 in his vision board,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. So she says, "My life is good. I got my boobies done. I got my dog. I got my money. But yeah, okay. I guess I'd like Luke to move here too."
I miss Luke too. Girl, you do have a life. I coulda had that
Oh,
at 19.
this is so easy to see. It's so easy to
Oh
see.
my
Okay.
god. And this numbnuts,
So
Jesus.
this numbnuts is 30 and he's from LA. And
Oh, yeah.
he's a mining engineer, which apparently, according to the storyline here, there's only one position. He can never get another job as
No,
that
because
ever
he
again.
lost his job. Never there is only one of these in these entire United States of
Mhm.
America.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm a mining engineer by trade, but my passion is business.
Okay.
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 Okay. So he's walking the streets in a fur coat.
As you do in
I
LA.
just wrote, this guy's a total douchebag.
Such a douchebag.
He says Madeline is empathetic,
Yep.
loving, and one of the most driven people he's ever met. And that's what made me fall in love with her so hard and so fast. Not that she's 19 and has
And
a
hot.
rockin' bod.
Right.
Right.
What is how is she driven?
I have no idea.
As best we see, she cuddles with a unicorn. That's what she does,
I
and
don't
her
see
dog.
her launching a huge career. I don't think she's in school. Maybe she is, but I don't know. If she is,
I
he's
would
paying for
feel
that too.
I would feel better about her drivenness if she were in school or
Yeah.
pursuing something
Yeah, maybe.
other
I
than
don't know.
influencing. I'm not
Right.
counting that as driven.
Right. Right. And that's probably what he's talking about. You're probably right. So he
Mhm.
has her name tattooed next to his dick.
Sure.
Okay.
As you do.
6 months ago, he proposed and he really wants to move to Colombia to be with her,
Sure.
but he hasn't done it because dun
Womp
dun
womp.
dun.
He
I'm
broke.
broke.
He broke.
I wrote, is it crypto? Is he crypto bro? I thought for sure he dumped everything into crypto, but
You know
that's not.
he's dumped something into
But
crypto for sure.
he's even dumber than that.
Yes,
Get
he is.
ready. So he's been a mining engineer for 7 years, but he got fired for taking too much time off. Really, dude? I got fired from Toys R Us when I was 16 for taking too much time off. Is this something adults do?
Apparently. I don't
Jesus
know. Apparently
Christ.
when you're running around thinking with your dick, you do.
Oh my God. Like who as an adult gets fired for taking too much time off? And he's returning the company vehicle now.
Sure.
And he's roped his buddy Michael into this, and he's there to, like, give him a ride, and he's just like, "Wow, this sucks, dude.
Wow,
This
you're
just
fucked.
you're an idiot."
When he pulled up in that truck, I'm like, "What the hell are you doing with that truck in LA?" But then they said it was a work truck, so I felt a little bit better about
Yeah,
it.
and
There's no
yeah,
need for that truck in LA.
I didn't get a make on the truck.
It
Did
was a
you?
Ford, I think. It was like a
Okay.
Ford F-50, but like an
It's at
extended cab situation.
it's at least a 40 to $50,000 truck.
Yeah. As
At
someone who's never
least.
looked to buy a truck,
Mhm.
this is my best
Oh, we
truck.
meet somebody with the truck and some sketchy finances on Love During Lockup, and I sent screenshots to Timmy, and he has
Oh,
identified the truck.
okay, good, good.
So, trucks are really expensive.
Trucks are expensive.
Yeah. So, Michael's here and he's just like, "Well, I don't know what you're doing, dude." Luke says, "I have no money. I'm liquidating my 401k." Are you ready for this, Amanda?
Mhm.
He has invested $500,000 in startups, okay? A jewelry company,
Uh-huh.
a lifestyle brand, a travel agency, and a clothing brand.
You know who he should really team up with?
Mm,
Jesse Meester. He also is
you
a
know what?
lifestyle
Yes.
brand travel guy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
They
But I
kinda
feel
look
like
alike too.
But I feel like Jesse Meester's a little bit like
Smarter
he's at
than this
least
guy.
making it work.
He's a little bit more savvy than this guy.
Yes.
How do you get to the point by the age of 30 to have had $500,000 period?
Well, he probably works for an oil company,
Yeah, he
oil and
probably makes a
gas.
shit ton of money, but
He probably makes a
still
shit ton of money, but why would you I,
okay.
I, okay.
He
Now
has a
he
really
has
inflated sense of himself.
you think?
A little bit.
Now he has no salary and a mountain of debt. He has sent Madeline about $100,000. I thought, okay, that's it. I thought for sure it was more than that.
I did too, but then again, I think things in Colombia are a lot cheaper than they are
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Yep.
Can someone send me
I'll
$100,000? I
take
mean,
it.
I don't look like her, so maybe that's why no one's sending me that
I'll take
money,
it.
but I'll take it.
Roll this meatball some money over here. I'll take it.
I'll even, like, maybe bang Luke for it. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow.
A lot of bottles of wine would have to be
Yeah, 3 or
involved.
4. 3
Yeah.
or 4.
Yeah,
So he pays for every single thing for Madeline,
of
as
course.
we know. He says he's a people pleaser and he
You
wants her to be
don't
happy.
say.
You're not a people pleaser. That's not what's happening here.
No.
You're buying a
Buying a
piece of
girlfriend.
ass.
Yeah,
That's what's happening.
yeah.
So
You and
Michael
I are
is like,
people pleasers. We're not this
right,
is not
right.
that.
Michael's like, if you cut her off financially, would she stick around? She kind of sounds like a leech.
I'm here
Okay.
for Michael.
I'm here for Michael too, but this is transactional on both ends. Don't
Of
get it
course it is.
twisted.
Of course it is. She's
So,
hot, so he's paying for her. She's putting up with him because he is funding her lavish lifestyle.
absolutely. So Luke says, I know how bad it looks, but I'm trying to be positive. And Michael tells the camera, this idiot is blinded by love. He gets nothing in return. I don't know what's happening here.
Mhm.
Madeline knows nothing of this. He's
No.
like, I'm going to tell her when I get there in 3 days, but she knows nothing about it right now.
So that'll go well.
And he says, this motherfucker, he says, this will be a true test of her character. No,
No, it won't.
no, mm-mm. This is
Neither
a
of you have
bait and
good
switch,
character.
dude. This is a bait and fucking switch.
Yeah.
What she's doing is problematic in its own right. I'm
Sure.
not saying she's innocent here, but you can't tell somebody something is one way,
Mhm.
switch it on them,
Right.
and then judge them for how they react to the switch. Nope,
Correct.
nope, 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 nope.
Correct, and we'll see that again in another story.
Yes, and
Yes.
I'm sure we'll see this play out in
In
a
many
very healthy way.
especially.
Mm.
Yeah.
So also says he can't afford to move there right now. And I wrote, isn't it cheaper to go live there in the apartment you're already paying for than to stay in LA?
Right, get rid of all your LA shit. LA's fucking
LA is
expensive.
so expensive, so expensive. Okay. So next, let's go. We only met 3 couples this time.
Mhm.
So we're going to save sperm donation for the end.
That's my I feel like sperm domination is going to be the Merryfields of this
The
franchise, so let's
dessert. The dessert.
the
Yes.
dessert that we all richly deserve.
Let's go to Sean and Aaliyah. Am I saying
Yeah.
that right? Aaliyah?
Aaliyah,
I
yes,
believe
Aaliyah.
so, right?
A-L-L-Y Alliya, I believe.
Yeah.
Aaliyah.
Yep. So Sean is 61. Now, what are your thoughts on Sean? First of all, is he a broke down Kenny or
Ooh,
is he better looking?
ooh, ooh. He might be better looking.
You know who he reminds me of? Oh my God, this just came to mind. You're going to have to help me get there.
Okay,
80 star.
okay. Jack Wagner.
John, no, no, how dare you? John Test. Is this bringing something up for you?
No,
John
no.
Tester. I want to say he hosted Entertainment Tonight.
Oh,
John Tesh.
John
John
Tesh.
Tesh.
Yes, yes, I can see
Yes.
that.
He
I
looks a
can see
little
that.
bit like John Tesh. John
Okay,
Tester.
when
Isn't he a politician?
there is a senator's last name is Tester.
Mhm.
I don't remember if his name is John. Anyway,
Okay. Is he
uh,
on Love in Paradise?
he's not on Love in Paradise. When they said this guy was 61, I was like,
Yeah.
"Excuse me, what?"
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
somebody okay, this is not a toot my own horn thing, but as somebody who is frequently told I do not look my age,
Mhm.
he really does not look his
He
age.
doesn't. Neither does Kenny, though.
No, no, I would guess Sean is in his, like, early 40s.
Oh, no. I would say late 40s, early
Okay,
50s.
40s, but
Kenny, I
definitely
would
40s.
say 40s.
Yes, Kenny is absolutely 40s.
Jesus. Okay. I don't know what these guys are doing
They're
skincare
drinking
routine, but
they much like Jennifer Aniston are drinking the blood of, like, babies or something to
John
get here.
Stamos is on that diet too.
Absolutely,
Mhm, mhm.
absolutely, as is, Paul Rudd. None of these people age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he is a hairstylist who does celebrity hair for TVs and movies. He's done Desperate Housewives, Ugly Betty.
Like, he
He's
seems like
even
a
worked
real
with The
person.
Boys. He has a real job,
Yeah,
like a real career.
yeah.
Yes. He's going blonde because his beautiful Brazilian prefers him blonde.
Mhm.
So he tells us for
Did
3
you
years.
did you notice a marked change in the color of his hair?
No,
Okay, just
no,
checking.
but you know me, I don't notice those
I
things.
know, but I was like, "It really doesn't seem any different to me," but whatever, I don't know
Yeah,
things.
yeah. So for 3 years, he's been involved with Aaliyah. She lives in Brazil. She's dynamic, sexy, beautiful, smart, and has a good soul. That's a good way to describe somebody.
That is a beautiful way to describe somebody because it's a yes, they're beautiful, but
Yeah.
also they've got all of these other things going for them.
Yes. I was like, "Okay, I think you might really love this person."
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So Aaliyah is a trans woman, and when they met Sean, Aaliyah was Douglas.
Correct.
Okay. So Douglas wanted to, and again, I'm not dead naming Aaliyah.
No, this is how they talk
This is
constantly.
how Sean tells the story,
And
and I'm just relaying.
Aaliyah even brings up the name
Mhm.
Douglas over and over
Mhm.
again, so it
Yep.
doesn't seem like a taboo thing to say.
So Douglas wanted to tap into his feminine side.
Mhm.
So Sean was like, let's do it. Like, let's embrace this. Let's get a little wild with it. Let's go get a wig. Let's go out to the club. Heber
Oh.
LeBaron's there dancing. I don't know what's going on.
Have a
And
little dubstep sex, it'll be great.
and Douglas really embraced it. And Sean says, I think it was in that moment that Aaliyah was born.
Yeah.
So he says, I was part of that journey, but now I feel left behind. And he says he felt for a long time that Aaliyah was a persona, but
Mhm.
things are shifting. And
Aaliyah's not a persona.
Aaliyah is trans. And he
Aaliyah is
says
who
he
this is.
feels like he is the one that opened the Pandora's box. Now, I want to talk about this.
Okay, did we mention their age difference, by the way?
No, we did not. She is 25, he's
He's
61.
61, so
Yeah.
aw.
I know. And this is something that I heard a therapist talking about one time when they were talking about Quiet on Set.
Mm,
And it was a good point. It
'kay.
was sometimes in the gay community, we overlook the age differences because we're afraid of judging or anything
Right.
like that. But if this was a man and
If
woman,
this was
we
a
would be like,
heterosexual couple,
eh.
either direction,
Yeah.
though we know,
Yeah.
of course, it would be worse if it was a young girl versus a
Yeah.
young man, but it's still not great.
It's not great. It's
It's
not
not
great.
great. This is
And
not
they
even
met
Kenny and
3 years
Armando.
ago. So Aaliyah was only like 21, 22.
22, and he was
Yeah.
in his late
Yeah.
50s.
This is not Kenny and Armando.
No,
No.
Kenny and Armando aren't A, this far apart, and B, I just feel like life-wise, they are in a much more similar place
I agree. I agree.
than these 2.
Um, I have to say, so I want to tell you something.
Okay.
So maybe about 6, 7 years ago, maybe even longer than that.
You had a
Definitely longer than that, 10
you
years ago.
you had a boyfriend that was less than half your age? Like,
No.
what are you telling me?
There was a documentary, a Vice documentary
Okay.
about the trans community.
Okay.
Okay. And I watched it at the time because it was when the whole vocabulary around trans people was just beginning
Mhm.
to get into mainstream. So I
Yep.
wanted to learn more about it.
Sure.
As a teacher who's had trans students, I wanted to, just inform myself.
Sure.
So I watched this documentary, and it was the purpose of the documentary was to show that this is not a choice, right?
Right.
That this is how people are born.
Correct.
And they did a great job with that. They showed like young kids who felt out of place in their bodies
Okay.
from the get-go,
Okay.
and were seeking to change that.
Awesome.
So one of the stories revolved around this little girl who transitioned to a little boy.
Okay.
And the mother was supportive, but was like, didn't really know how to manage this because this kid was like maybe 6, 7.
Right. Right.
So they talked a lot about like, here's age appropriate ways that you can, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah.
That's great.
So by the time the kid was 10, she had transitioned to a
Okay.
boy. So he was living as a male 10-year-old.
Okay.
Okay. They were interviewing the mother, and she was putting him on the bus one day, and they kind of zoomed in on the mother, and she was crying.
Mm.
And they were like, what are you feeling? What's going on? And the mother said, it's never easy for me to watch my daughter walk away. I'll never see my daughter walk away again. She said, I
Oh,
love my son. I'm
yeah.
grateful to have him, but
Yeah.
I mourn my daughter.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking in the moment, like, this is the part of this we don't talk about because we're so afraid
Mhm.
that it's going to come off as somehow tarnishing that support
Right.
or undermining the support or the experience of the trans person.
Mhm.
But I think it's an important thing to talk about.
I agree. You can support the trans person and still have feelings about their transition.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's I don't remember when we talked about this before. We talked about it
Mhm.
before of like if I think we were talking about it in terms of Mary and Leon when Leon came out the first time and
Yes.
Mary's like freak out
Yeah.
response. Like I think I think it's probably deeper for parents than probably almost anyone else in the
Yeah.
relationship to this person. But like you have daughters, like, when they came out of the womb, you, whether it happened instantly or over time, created what you thought their life would be,
Yes. Yes.
in good and bad ways.
Mhm.
It's just what we all
Yep.
do.
Yep.
And if one of your kids came to you and said, "This vision that you've had of me isn't real," you're
Mhm.
allowed to mourn that.
Yes.
You're allowed to have feelings about that.
Yeah,
You're
I
allowed to take a
totally
minute to
agree.
catch your breath.
And I think the problem it's not a problem, but the trickiness of
Challenge.
this
Yeah,
is I went through this with 2 of my very close friends, and, I mean, these people are amazing parents in every
sure.
way and supported these kids exactly the way they needed to be supported, but they were hurting inside because they
Mhm.
were struggling with mourning that child that has gone now, and they
That
felt they could not voice that at all
oh, that's hard.
because, they just I mean, that is such a fragile and
Mhm.
intricate process, and you don't wanna it's I mean, there's a reason trans kids have the highest suicide rate, right?
Mhm.
Like, you don't want to
Mess that
even
up.
give an inkling that you are not
Okay.
fully on board in some
Uh-huh.
way.
100%.
So, they both separately went to their own therapists, and they were working on it there, but, like, you can't take those feelings out into the real world with you anywhere. So,
No,
like, the fact that we're talking about this and Sean is saying,
I miss
"I
Douglas.
miss Douglas," I think it's fascinating.
I do
I really
too.
do.
I do too. There's someone in my life, I'm gonna say this very generally so as not to
Mhm. Yeah.
give everybody away, but there's someone in my life whose partner transitioned in
Right.
their relationship.
Yes.
And my friend has been clear that while supporting their partner,
Mhm.
they they miss the old version of their partner,
Yeah, and that's
and
okay.
that's okay, and their children miss the old version of their parent. Like,
But I also
it
understand the urge not to voice that
agreed, agreed.
because you just don't want anything to hinder
Mm-mm.
this person's journey. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right. You love them, you wanna
You
support them.
love them, you wanna support them, and you don't want them to think in any way.
Mhm. You don't.
And
Yeah.
more like you said, mourning that person is not it's not judgment, it's not a
Mm-mm.
negative emotion. It's just an emotion that exists. It's
Mhm.
human.
You're allowed to mourn changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay.
But I often
It's
think
what you
about
do with
that.
that mourning that I think is the problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
I often think about that mother just crying, like, silently at the bus
Mhm.
stop, and, like, does she
Mm.
cry every day? You know what I mean? Does she
Right.
cry? I mean, I'm sure she's still not crying, but,
Mhm.
like, I just can't imagine one of my daughters walking away and just being gone, and I would love the person that is in their place, and that would
Sure.
be my son to me in every way,
Right.
but there is another thing that's gone.
Yeah, and you've
It's
even said it from, like, when your girls are little. You can't watch
Yes.
videos of those because those people don't exist anymore, and you
Mhm.
miss them.
Mhm. Yeah,
You love who
it's
you have now, but you miss those little moppets running around the world too.
100%.
Yeah,
So I love
it's
that,
okay.
like, they're talking about this
Me
because
too.
they're doing it Sean, I believe, is doing it in a respectful way. Now, whether or not that changes when he gets there, we don't know.
Right, and whether Aaliyah feels respected or not, we don't know yet.
We
We
don't
haven't
know.
really
Right.
spent time with her yet, so we'll learn more
Exactly.
about her. But I feel like Sean is being very vulnerable and honest
I agree.
about how he feels. I love this person, but I fell in love with this person when they were something different, or they appeared to be something different, and now will I still feel the same way in that
Yeah,
change? And
it's
I think he's
really
scared. I
it's
think he's really
fascinating.
scared.
And I do wanna say too, guys, please message me privately, leave something in the group if I'm misspeaking about the
Mhm.
trans experience in any way. I
Yeah.
do my best,
Yeah.
but, I don't always get everything right. So, like, if I've
We're
said something wrong or I've done please reach out and tell me. I take all of that
same.
feedback with
Absolutely 100% same. We're like 2 middle-aged cis white ladies. We're just
right.
trying to do the best we can
Yes,
with the information
absolutely.
we have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. All right. So Sean doesn't like labels. He's attracted to both. He
Sure.
was married to a woman for 14 years, but
Mhm.
he's had relationships with men as well. He says he was attracted to Douglas as a man and he worries this will be different now. He
Mhm.
worries that he will mourn Douglas and he's just not quite ready to give Douglas up.
Mhm.
He says he fell in love with Douglas and he feels like he can't kill Douglas and he cries.
It's
And I wrote,
sad.
this is riveting.
It is.
Yeah.
I want every moment of this story. I really
Hmm.
like Sean so far.
Why do I feel like this is gonna come back
Oh,
to
I
haunt
think
us?
this is gonna put us right in pot of shame, to use the cray cray term. I have a feeling we're gonna find out that Sean's like a total dickbag. But right now, in episode 1, I like Sean.
God damn you, Sean, you're luring us into your web. The way
We
that
thought
I
Big Ed
will
was nice the first time we saw him too, with the dog in the backpack. No.
here's the thing. The way like you just said, I'm just reiterating your
Yeah.
point. The way that we will know if Sean is a good person or not is how he interacts with Aaliyah.
Mhm.
Does like you said, does Aaliyah feel respected?
Right.
Or is he going to shame Aaliyah and
Yeah.
bring up some gross stuff? So that's time will tell.
TBD. TBD.
So he's heading to Brazil and he's nervous because he says Douglas has just been disappearing. And he says a year ago he started planning an epic proposal, but he's not sure that he can marry Aaliyah. Like he doesn't know Aaliyah. I
No,
get that. He
I get
doesn't
that
know
too.
her. And he says, I have a feeling I'll be seeing Aaliyah 24/7 and no Douglas.
Yes, you will.
I have to tell you something funny.
Okay.
They flash on this picture of Sean and Douglas.
Uh-huh.
And they're lying on the beach.
Yeah,
And it's
that
very reminiscent of the classier version of the help me. Tiger King picture with his lover.
Oh.
But it's like done, it's like classier.
Right.
Like these people are way better looking.
With good-looking people with all of their teeth and all of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the Tiger King? That was a moment
You
in
know,
time.
I actually remember it came out and everyone was talking about it, and I decided to wait a couple of weeks because I was like, "This pandemic thing's gonna last a
I
couple of
did
weeks.
too.
This pandemic thing is gonna last a couple
Yeah.
of weeks."
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. And I was like, "I'll wait." And I remember cleaning out my closet because I
Yep.
made myself a little list of pandemic things I
Of
wanted to
course you
do, and that
did.
was one.
Mhm.
And I spent like 7 hours in my bedroom watching the fucking Tiger King.
Yep.
That guy's a lunatic. Jesus
Oh
Christ,
my
that was
god. There are
entertaining.
certain like cultural phrases from that
Mhm.
show, like, "I'll never financially recover from this." I say that
Right?
all the time.
Same. And
It's just, "Hello,
Carol
hey
Baskin.
hey, kids cats and kittens." I say
Hey there,
that a
cats
lot
and
too.
kittens.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, Carol Baskin.
That was a moment.
You
That
crazy
was a
bitch.
moment.
Loved her.
Jesus Christ. I
Loved her
just
and was
remember,
terrified of her.
yeah, I just remember being like, "What the fuck am I
Yes.
watching?"
And everybody watched it at the exact same time.
Oh god, it was
Oh,
so
bless.
great.
Okay.
Okay. So, now we get to meet Aaliyah. So,
Mhm,
she's from Rio, she's
mhm.
25.
Her
She says
name
the
is
male
Rita.
label I knew one of us would do it.
Yeah, sorry.
She says the male label didn't fit how she felt inside. She identifies with the feminine side of the society. Now,
Yep.
there is a little bit of a language issue here. She's
Mhm.
speaking English, but
It's not her
like
native language, and she
it's not
says
her native language, and she's doing really well, but some of the turns of phrases are off a little bit. So,
yeah, but her English is excellent.
yes. So she says she identifies with the feminine side of the society and wants to be free and open to express herself. She chose Aaliyah because it means sublime.
I love that. I love that, and to hear her story of, like, growing up in a super religiously
Yeah.
conservative family and all of that, like, yeah, this is a hard road.
Well, there's a question I have about that. So
Okay.
she's thrilled with who she is now and that she doesn't have to hide it. And she says she was raised by her grandparents
Mhm.
after her parents divorced at 5. This is not the first time I've heard this. Like, is there a world in which parents divorce and they just give the kids to somebody else, not them?
I don't know. I think we've heard this in other stories, and what I think happens, and I could be totally wrong here, so but this is
Mhm.
my guess, is that in certain cultures, there's a perception of it's better to raise a child
In a married couple?
in a married family, and
Mhm.
so these parents divorce, and they're like, "Well, the grandparents are a married family, and so
Mm.
we'll put the kid there." Or both of these parents just fucked off somewhere and, like, dumped their kid.
Or maybe the mom or dad, whomever, whatever parent had primary custody, went to live with the parents as well.
And they felt more raised by their grandparents.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just was, like, fucking off and, Heber LeBaron it out in the club.
I hell up into club. I mean,
Maybe
you've
it's
said
like
it
a Casey Anthony parenting situation.
we've talked about this. Quite
Mhm.
often grandparents can dip in to fulfill the role of not missing parents, but not as available parents.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, maybe
Maybe
that's what it
maybe
was
the
too.
parent was like Casey Anthony and working at Universal Studios, working long
Probably,
hours. Long
probably, and
hours.
had,
Mhm.
a nanny named Zanny. It's fine.
Oh, that case still haunts me. Still haunts me. She got away with murder.
Okay.
Okay? That's my
Yes.
opinion.
Okay.
Alright. Okay.
I'm 99.9% there with
Mhm,
you.
mhm,
It's just the
mhm.
father creeps me out. Anyway, go on.
Amy's hot take.
Amy's
So
hot
brave, so brave. OJ
Amy?
was
I was gonna
guilty
say, how are you coming down on OJ? Where are
and
we going on
Casey
that?
Anthony. You know what we need? We need John Achman
Oh, John
on the
Ahmed will tell
Casey
us.
Anthony case.
Yeah, he'll figure
I
it out
think
real
he's gonna
quick.
say she's guilty.
I think so
Just saying.
too. I think so too.
All right, so she's been feeling this way since a teen, that she
Mhm.
was in the wrong body. And she says, "But I knew, my grandparents would not go for this."
Nope. Mm-mm.
So she says in the relationship with Sean, everything changed. They've been together for 3 years and he makes her so happy. She feels complete. She feels loved around him. Like, what beautiful things to say about the person who you are
Uh-huh.
with, right?
Yeah.
She says last time Sean was here, she was Douglas. But now she's had the courage to live as Aaliyah, and she worries that Sean might think she's still Douglas,
Yeah.
but she's not. And she wants him to accept Aaliyah not as a character, but
But
as
it's
who
her.
she is.
Oh, this is gonna be hard, Amy.
It
I think
is,
they're both
but
gonna get hurt.
it's going to be hard. But if Sean is who we think he is, if he truly is who has been presented to us,
Mhm.
I think he can get through this.
I think he can too, but
If
it's
he's
gonna
a
take
total
work on his part.
if he's a total douchebag and has fooled us,
Mhm.
Big Ed style, then it's not going to happen.
He could also very legitimately say, "I respect who Aaliyah is, and I want Aaliyah to be happy. I'm not in love with Aaliyah." That could
Yeah,
happen,
absolutely. He
and
did
that is
not fall in
completely
love with
legit.
Aaliyah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she says, Sean has always accepted me, but if he cannot accept Aaliyah, I'm worried. And she says their relationship cannot continue if he doesn't accept Aaliyah. Okay. You
We
ready
shall
for the
see.
main event? Dun,
Yes, I
dun, dun,
am.
dun, 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 dun,
Da-da-da-da-da.
dun, 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 dun. Okay.
'Kay.
Annika, Annie, and
Annie.
Kyle. So let's see
I love
their
the name
age
Annika, and
differences.
I like her so far. I think she's cute.
I do too. We need to rescue her.
Yeah, and we need to go to Malta, so this works out well. We will go to Malta and rescue Annie.
Absolutely.
Oh, she's like a rescue Annie.
Oh. So Kyle is 32 from LA
Mhm.
and Annika is 39 from Malta. Okay.
But
So,
originally from Germany.
yes.
Yeah.
She's from Berlin. She's living in Malta. She says she moved here during the pandemic because she needed sun and freedom. Same,
Same
same.
girl, same. If I could have moved to Malta during the pandemic, I would have done that too.
I just need to see the sun here.
I
I mean,
know.
you see another gray day on tap here in
I
Northeast
know.
Pennsylvania. So she ended up getting a this is my industry and this is antithetical. A great
Uh-huh.
job as a content editor.
I know.
What are you doing?
Okay. I don't know,
Okay,
but
do those exist?
can you share that job with Amy Archer? Because
Share
Amy
that
Archer
job
would like
with
that
me
job.
because I'm looking.
Yeah.
Hashtag unemployed. So Malta is stunning. I told you I fell in love with it when
Mhm.
Lily and Damien went on their honeymoon there.
I really wanna go.
They have 300 days of sunshine.
Good lord. It's like, San Diego.
Yes,
Same
yes.
thing.
She has a son, a million, a million.
I don't know. He's
Yeah,
cute as a button, though.
6 years old.
Mhm.
She and his dad have split up 4 years ago.
Mhm.
She says she wants another child now, and her biological watch is ticking, she tells us. And
Amy,
she says
she want child.
she
I want
wants
child.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she want child.
She says 7 months ago she met Kyle online and he made her feel special and they were able to talk and laugh for hours. She said he could be my soulmate and baby dad number 2 and
Oh,
he's
girl.
arriving in a week.
Oh, girl.
This has some what were you saying in the Backdoor Friends Facebook group yesterday, which is our Facebook group, guys.
Mhm.
Get in there if you're not in there. Backdoor Friends. Um, my doctor wears my kid's face, or my kid wears my doctor's face. What?
I
Tell
can't.
everybody what that was.
So last night we're watching Maps, but we're watching it on Lifetime, so we get the commercials. And there was, a preview for some movie, and I'm like half listening. And it's basically this, one of those stories of like some doctor who's just knocking up all of his patients without their knowledge.
Of course.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, we've seen those documentaries, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the dramatic title. My child is wearing my doctor's face. And I'm like, what the
Wow.
fuck is this?
Wow.
I think this might
Wow.
be something that someone on or someone in Little Miss Recap World needs to talk with you about.
Wow.
My child is
Who
wearing
is
my
over,
doctor's
guys?
face.
Who's over at Lifetime naming these movies? I want to have coffee with them.
I do too.
Oh my
A
god.
child is wearing my doctor's
Just thinking of my doctor and what it would look like if one of my kids was wearing his face. A little wild. A
Yeah,
little wild.
yeah.
Wasn't there what was that documentary? Our Father?
Our father with, like, 93 children or something. That was a fascinating
Ugh.
story
It was fascinating
and gross.
and gross
Mhm.
and real rapey.
Real rapey and real religious trauma-y.
Yeah,
I mean, I think in the age of all this 23andMe and everyone doing their DNA testing, we're gonna find out a lot more of this shit happened than we knew about.
I agree 100% because
Yeah.
there is, and we see, I'll save it.
Okay.
Okay. So Kyle's 32. He lives
Mhm.
in LA, but he mainly travels. He doesn't really
Yes.
live in one place. He's an
No.
accountant. As long as he has his laptop, he's good to go.
He is accountant.
He is I'm accountant.
He am accountant.
Yes.
He am accountant.
He am accountant.
He am accountant.
I am not accountant. He loves traveling and
Same,
getting
same.
women pregnant.
Not same, same.
No. His hobby is sperm donation.
See, at first I was like, "Okay, so your hobby's masturbation." Okay, I
Sure,
mean
sure. We don't judge.
I
Fly
mean,
your freak flag, but this gets
generally,
weird.
I think of masturbation addiction for more of like a late teen situation
Mhm,
than a
mhm,
32-year-old man
mhm.
situation.
This guy looks like he's 19
He does. He looks like I'm waiting for zits to pop out. He
though.
looks so young.
So he tells the story about how he likes to help single women and lesbian couples grow their families. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay,
That's great.
that's great. He says he takes a lot of supplements, manosphere, for his sperm count. He
Does he have an
eats well.
antioxidant counter
He
a la
needs it.
Becky Ryan?
From what is the company?
New Skin.
New Skin. He
Yeah.
needs to call them up. At first, I thought, okay, like this is noble.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seems good.
So he
But then
doesn't
he had
eat.
to go make it weird.
He doesn't drink. He takes
Okay.
only cold showers. He eats well. He says this started when he was 22. A lesbian couple that he was friendly with needed sperm. He says word of mouth spread, and now women come to him from all over the world. And I'm like, why him? And
Okay.
then I realized what was going on. He doesn't charge them.
Mm-mm. This is all for him. Okay. Let's just say the quiet part out loud.
Okay.
I have had friends who have gone through the sperm donation process,
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
have gone sperm shopping, as a friend of
Mhm.
mine referred to it, and said it's real fucking weird because you're going through these books and you're trying to pick somebody. And
Real
for
weird.
my, I have a friends who are a lesbian couple and they did this and they
Like
tried
it
very
must
hard.
feel I'm saying it must feel weird, not that it is weird.
No, it just
Yeah.
feels really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like shopping for sperm. It's
Sure.
just like,
Mhm.
but you're looking for certain things in the person, generally speaking.
Sure. We saw Natalie was sperm shopping. We saw what
Right.
she was looking for.
Right. Like, a sense of, intelligence.
Mhm.
Quite often, if a lesbian couple they'll look for sperm that looks like the partner who's not carrying the baby or is not
Mhm.
biologically attached to the baby, all of that. He's I feel like he should be better looking for people to be coming all after him.
I feel like he should be more of a prize. If
Exactly.
women across the globe are seeking your sperm, you
I
think
really feel
John
like you should.
Stamos is gonna be on the other end of that.
Correct. I want George Clooney. I want
Right,
someone
you're not like
real something. Not this guy.
I would even take like a Stephen Hawking sitch, like somebody super smart.
You know who he sort of looks like? A better looking version of, Clayton of Closet Mom?
Mhm.
He sort of
Yes,
looks like
you're right. He
Clayton.
has a closet mom vibe.
He does have a
He
Closet
really
Mom
does.
vibe.
Yeah,
His mother may well be living in his closet. I would not put it past him.
very well could be.
Mhm.
So he tells us he has a high sperm count. So I did a little research.
Yeah, I was hoping you would. Go
Mhm.
on.
The average sperm count is okay. So he tells us. I can tell you what he tells us first.
Okay.
He tells us the average sperm count is 15 million sperm per millimeter. Okay, of semen.
Milliliter.
Milliliter. Sorry,
Yeah.
millimeter.
Well, a millimeter of jizz, and there's
Um,
15 million sperm in there.
And then he says, but his is 242. Okay, so
Come
this is a
on.
little misleading. So the
Okay.
normal range is 15 to 200. That's
Oh,
a wide spectrum.
that is a very wide spectrum, and
Yes.
he's just above the normal
Just
range.
above the normal range.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sit down, sir.
Exactly.
Okay.
So a high or above average sperm count is over 200.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's what, 240, you said?
Yes, 242.
2 242 specific. I'm glad we're
Yes.
really down to that number.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has 71 children
Mhm.
and 9 on the way. Amanda,
Yes, Amy.
we don't need a bunch of Kyles in the world.
No, we
We
really
don't
don't.
need this. This is such a fucking weird kink for him. This
It
is
is.
guys, and what look, I struggled with this because on the surface,
Yeah.
what he's doing is wonderful. He's
Yes.
giving these families who otherwise would have high financial barriers to entry for this kind of stuff.
Yep.
He's giving them sperm,
A wonderful
letting them
thing.
grow their families. How noble.
But that's not what this is about.
But when you get out the map
Ah,
and you're keeping track,
of how many children you have.
it's gross.
It's a
Ugh.
lot. And here's the thing, it's not that he's just keeping track of how many children he's had. He wants to keep going forever.
Yeah.
My friend who
Yeah.
was the sperm donor, he became aware that he had about 50 children
Mm-hmm.
because it's a whole thing. And at that point he was like, "Oh, wow. Huh. Okay." Like he just never really thought
Right.
much about it.
Right.
And then that was it. That was it.
Well, that's
He
the
was
thing.
done.
Like, if this is a selfless gift, then
Right.
give the gift and move on.
Right.
Like, it doesn't feel selfless when you're keeping track, I guess is
No.
what I'm saying.
No.
Like, you're getting something out of this.
Yeah.
So he says, I don't take money for this. I just do it to help these couples grow their families. I even pay my own travel, and all I get out of this is love and happiness. Then he gets out the map.
And then get out the map, get out the map. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm like on a singing thing
You
today.
are,
We
and
got
I'm okay with that.
we
I
got Duran
can't
Duran,
sing, so
Indigo
I will
Girls.
not
I can't really sing
terrify.
either, so
I will not like scare off our audience by
yeah.
singing, but you
I
can
probably
sing all
just
you
did.
want.
I probably just did. Sorry about that, folks.
But this has hindered his dating life, he says.
You think?
Women don't like this aspect of him.
You think?
And he says he met Annie, she calls herself Annie, because she originally reached out to him about sperm donation.
Mhm.
But they ended up talking. And then I wrote, okay, now wait, breaks, stop. Okay. They can choose the type of donation. He can masturbate in a cup and they use a syringe, or they have what I call the intercourse donation.
And then he goes into detail to describe the experience.
Into detail.
This to me feels like in sex work when someone talks about the girlfriend experience. This
Oh,
feels like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the girl, but it feels like I have this weird specific type of experience
Yes.
for this person.
Then he says, now I don't know if you caught this, but this I feel like is real important. He says, or they could choose the intercourse donation, which has a higher success rate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's telling people.
Of course he is.
Mhm.
Of course he is, because he just wants to fuck a lot of people.
This is not sperm donation, I wrote.
No.
This is impregnating women.
Yes.
It's not
That's
sperm.
the kink.
Donating sperm is, here's my sperm in a cup. Go do whatever you want with it. Goodbye.
Right. No, this is his kink, and his kink is
Mhm.
he's got like a breeding fetish.
It's gross.
Weird.
It's gross. He wonders if Annie will be okay with the intercourse part of this. No, she
No.
won't.
No, she
and
won't.
not for the reason you're thinking.
No.
She won't be jealous. She's going to think you're a fucking creep. That's what the problem's going to be.
Yes. And by the way, as soon as he pops off the plane, the creepdom begins.
Okay, here we go. So Annie picks Kyle up from the airport. She says she's excited. She's nervous. Her son is with his dad for the next 2 weeks. I like how she explains where the kid is because we often have questions.
Or like,
Yeah.
She's cute as a fucking button.
She's
I
cute.
like
She's
her.
got her shit together. I like her
She's
a lot.
grown up. Like, I'm into her.
She says Kyle has a boyish charm that she's fallen in love with.
Charm?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
No.
Then she says, I'm okay with this past, but moving forward, things have to change. I want him to stop completely, but I would settle for him just stopping the intercourse option.
Sure. That he doesn't want to do that, though. And he will never do that.
He arrives and they hug, and he says she smells great and he could eat her up. He says she's sexier in person. She says he has cute eyes. And then he starts to cry and says, this is a dream come true.
For like a split second, you're like, okay. These two are into each other. And then he had to go make it weird.
And then
he had to go weird. In the words of Mary Brown, he went weird.
This is so fucking weird. The look on Annie's face is, he says, you have to earn my love and there's a point system. And she's going, no, there's not. No, there's not. He says, you can lose points by doing bad things like smoking or drinking wine. And you can earn points for being good. This is gross. This guy is fucked. Get rid of him.
Weird. Why is drinking wine bad? I get why he's not doing it because he wants to,
I
like,
have
improve his
no
sperm count.
idea.
That's
Probably
what this
purity, pure. He's probably one of these fuckers
Oh,
who
yeah.
wants his women to be real pure, but he can go fuck, and that's what he's doing, fucking people
Yes.
across the globe.
He is going to find out her number of people at some point, and he is going to slut shame her. Guaranteed.
You know what it is too? There's a point of me that went from thinking this was a benevolent thing that he was doing
Mhm,
for people to being like, you're taking advantage of people,
mhm.
and it's
You're taking
gross.
advantage of vulnerable people.
Thank you.
You and I have
It
both
felt
been
exploitative.
you and I have both been a place where we were questioning our ability to have children and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
It's a real vulnerable place, and
Yeah.
people can take advantage of you very quickly. It's
Yeah.
not good,
That's what he's doing.
and that's exactly what he's doing. It's disgusting. But
Ugh.
I'm here to watch the entire thing fall
I'm
apart,
here to
except I
watch
feel
it.
bad for Annie
I'm
because I
here to
like her
watch
so
it
far.
because Annie will not put up with this shit.
No,
She is going to come out the victor here. We just
she
need
will.
to hang in.
Yeah.
So he says with 3 points, she gets a kiss, with 5, a tongue kiss, and 10, full on sex. Nobody wants 10 points.
No.
No.
No, I don't want
If
10
you try
points.
to give me points, I'm going to throw them back at you.
I will do all the things you tell me I cannot do to lose point or I can do to lose points, and that's all I'm doing. Basically, in his world, the way I'm gonna keep from having to fuck this guy, Kyle, is I'm gonna drink and smoke, drink and smoke,
That
drink and
sounds like
smoke
a
all day
glorious
long.
night out for me. So he says, I don't want to jump in bed with her because, I do that. And I don't want it to feel clinical like my sperm donation.
It does not feel clinical, you dude.
I have
Shut
a
the
I have a
fuck up.
prediction. I have a
What's that?
prediction. He can't perform in a normal setting.
Oh, that would not shock me
Mhm,
at all.
There's going to be performance issues.
Uh-huh, but she
Mhm.
does say he has a big dick.
She says it's huge, but that doesn't mean he can work it.
No, it doesn't mean you know what to do with it.
So the point system, he says, is the right way to do this, and Annie's like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
You
Like,
big
this is
fucking creep.
weird.
He's never had a
She
relationship before either.
she says his lack of experience is so obvious it's awkward.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
goes, this could be a nightmare.
Oh, girl, buckle
Oh,
in.
okay. All
Your
right.
little paradise life in
Mhm.
Malta? Buckle in, girlfriend, because it's gonna be bad.
We get a little this season on,
Mhm.
and it's not much, but it's a little
No.
bit. She's telling the camera that Kyle has a huge penis, but we see him not even know how to kiss. He does not know
Mm-mm.
how to kiss. She's like, "What are you doing? This is me. I've said this many times. Throwing myself at Mike Schaub behind Jamie
Mhm.
McCauley's house and just putting my lips
Mouth
on
on
his
him.
face
Right.
and
I'm thinking
hoping
that's
he
how
would
this works.
guide me to do something else." Um, Annie asks him to stop the donation. Doesn't go good. Doesn't
No,
go good.
he's not into that.
We meet Alex and Adriano,
Mhm.
who wants a three-way with Alex's cousin. And then we
That's
see
not weird at all.
Alex crying a lot.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go well.
Sean is struggling with Aaliyah, and we see
Mhm.
Aaliyah crying and burning a pic of Douglas. It looks like in some kind of like
Ceremony.
ceremony. And then Luke, who's broke, asks Madeleine to sign a prenup. What? So she can't take his fur coat?
He can't take his ridiculous jewelry that he's wearing?
She
Like, what?
needs a prenup so she could keep her apartment.
That's right. Oh my
This is
god.
bonkers. Now, next week, guys, Amanda will be leading the
Yes,
discussion and
yes.
taking the notes. We had this agreement. She was like, I'll take the notes for you on lip. I'm like, okay, great. And then yesterday I text her, I'm like, oh shit, I just did all the notes on lip.
Made my life a little easier last night. Yes, yes, going forward,
That's how it
we're gonna start
happens.
splitting shows up a little bit to
Yeah. Yeah.
take a little pressure off the Amy Archer
Look, I
note
don't
factory
complain.
over
I
there.
don't
I know,
complain. This is a dream job. I'm
I
not
know,
complaining.
but it's a
But
lot.
I'm taking notes for 7 or 8 episodes a week, and it's just a lot
It's a
right
lot,
now.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But I will be guiding the discussion on love during lockup,
Lou dear.
which is
Cannot
coming up.
wait.
So, guys, if you like what you hear and you want to finish the rest of the season with us, which I'm hoping you will, please join us on Patreon, Supercast, or Apple subscriptions. At the $5 tier, you
Mhm.
get this and any special binge that we do. And our current special binge is Love During Lockup.
Correct.
The $8 tier, you get this plus Sister Wives and all our cult docs and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Then there's a $12 Ladies of a Certain Age tier where you're getting Gen X content
And your book.
and my book, me reading my
Right.
book, which I believe by the time you hear this, another episode would have dropped
Oh,
this
good.
weekend.
I was hoping this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's
Good.
coming out.
Good, good.
And I'm doing soap opera coverage.
So much is happening over here.
So much. All right, guys. If you can't subscribe, we totally get you. Money's tight for everybody. We hear you. Leave a review. Share the show. Those are wonderful ways to help us grow. That's all we ask. Yep. And Amanda, thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm really looking
forward to this trip.
Yep.
It's going to be good.
Me too.
These people are lunatics.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.